Welcome to Nonprofit Profiles. I'm Genevieve Riutort. Finding and keeping a job is especially tough these days. On today's show, we'll hear from the experts at JVS, an agency that has been helping people overcome barriers and find their career paths for over 80 years. Let's jump right in with Josefina Santiago, Associate Director of Workforce Development, and Patty Howard, Account Executive. Welcome.
Hi.
Thank you. Hi.
So 80 years, that's a long time. Can you tell me about the history of this organization?
JVS has been around since the Great Depression, and it started as a small agency or network of individuals coming together to support their job search efforts through primarily the Jewish community. Since then, it's grown and expanded to serve the Los Angeles County as a whole. We currently operate 3 offices known as AJCC. And we
So what does AJCC stand for?
America's Job Centers.
Okay.
And we have various centers across the Los Angeles County area. We have one of the biggest ones in the Marina del Rey office, which is just a few miles away from Santa Monica.
And so what happens at that center?
Our center is there to support everyone's job search efforts. As people walk through, you'll find some various resources at our center, from computers, fax machine, access to the internet, various workshops for employment seeking, such as resume writing, interview writing, mock interviewing, job clubs, just a whole gamut of different opportunities for you to learn how to do a better job search.
So it sounds like you're not only providing education and helping people get some of the skills that they need to be an effective job candidate, but you're also providing the kind of resources that some people may not have access to at home.
Correct. Along with some of these services that we have as you walk in, JVS has numerous programs available to upgrade your skills, which is one of the main objectives of the AJCC. As you might have heard from the president's speech not too long ago, he emphasized how important it was for AJCC, or America's Job Centers, to close the skills gap between those individuals trying to get back into the labor market and have not had the skills to really be competitive. So that's one of our biggest tasks right now through industry sectors that we have at our centers, such as BankWorks as well as HealthWorks. And these are programs that will provide entry-level type of positions just so people can get their foot in the door and then go up the career ladder.
So you're talking about the kind of skills that that are more kind of 21st century. We're going beyond manual labor and things like that.
Correct. That's one of our main purposes and our focuses.
So technology, I have to imagine, would be a big focus.
We're actually partnered with Venice Skills Center, and Venice Skills Center is on site, and they provide various classes for upgrading your computer skills, and they serve a variety of the community from Venice and Santa Monica.
And how can people find out about how to get hold of your service? Do they walk in? Do they go to the website? Is it some combination of all of those things?
Definitely. We have a website that you can find out all the services that are available, various programs. You can walk in, or you can be referred from partners that we have throughout the community. Virginia Avenue Park is an access point, as an example, St. Joseph's, and various other agencies that we work with.
So you do partner with other nonprofit organizations and city?
Definitely. That's, I think, one of our strongest points, is the fact that we bring people together so that we can launch and continue to really leverage some of the resources that we have in the community.
And what about for the employers? Is that where you come in, Patty?
Yes. So as an account executive, I contact the employers and find out if there's any open opportunities that they have, and ask for a position description, post it, and then any of the candidates that have come in and gone through the workshops can apply, send me their resume, I screen it, and then forward it on to my client.
So it's almost like you're doing executive search for the community.
Exactly.
That's so wonderful. And do you find that employers are receptive to the program?
They are. And one of the things that we've really enjoyed doing recently is working with employers that are looking for a number of people, not just a secretary or a VP of finance, somebody who needs 20 ramp agents or 30 passenger service agents. And like Swissport at the airport is a company we've recently done some very large recruitments with.
That's got to be exciting to know that you have that many positions available for
It's
people.
great. I love when an employer has, numerous positions, not just one of.
Mm-hmm. And how many employers do you think, on average, you work with?
Probably 35 to 40.
At any given time?
Yes.
That's wonderful. And do they just run the gamut from all kinds of different opportunities?
Yes. We've worked with the Census Bureau and done large recruitments with them, Goodwill, as I mentioned, Swissport, and then some hotels in the neighborhood as well.
Do the employers provide input on the kind of skills that they have, that they need? And does that inform the kind of trainings that you do?
Yes. They give us a list of what exactly they need. I mean, they have their perfect list.
Sure.
We try to match it, but when somebody might need some training, we also offer on-the-job training, or OJT, which is where we subsidize the initial training money.
Oh, I see. So they can go to work at the employer, get the training, and the employer doesn't have to pay them. You're finding outside sources to pay them.
The employer pays them, and we subsidize part of it during the training period.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's got to be a great benefit for both the employer
fabulous.
and the new employee.
Yes.
Wow. And how many clients are you serving?
We see a variety of different clients throughout Los Angeles County. Our Marina office alone serves up to 7,000 individuals per year.
Wow. So that's a lot of people that are getting help. And what's the success rate? I mean, you don't have to give me a percentage, but how are people doing? Are they finding jobs?
We've found that most of our clients are successful. They have various spans in their job search efforts, and you really have to keep an open mind in terms of what is out there and focus on some transferable skills. So it really is on a case-by-case basis that the clients that we see are successful.
And just briefly, what's the process? So I walk through the door, what happens?
You walk in the door, and the first thing we ask you to do is to attend an orientation to get an overview of all the services, and basically to also talk about what partnerships we have. They talk about what OJT means, how to access some of the training, some of the bank work, some of the health works, and you get an overview, and then you decide what level of service you would like. You can do your own independent job search, or you can access one-on-one support, and that requires a little more registration services that we have, and then training services. So it really is different levels.
It's a whole range, so people can come in and they can get, you know, very intense individualized training and help, or they can say, you know what, I kind of know what I'm doing, I just need a little bit of assistance
Coaching,
with
yeah.
resources, or I need to use your computer, or, so it really goes the whole way. Well, it sounds like you are doing a fantastic job of helping the people in our community get jobs and really start their lives, or restart their lives in some cases. And I hope that our viewers will visit that Marina Del Rey Worksource Center and take advantage of your services.
Thank you.
Thank you so
I hope
much.
so.
When we come back, we'll hear about how JVS is helping our youth find their way. Please stay with us.
Hey, Mom. Yes, I'm home. Saved you some dinner.
Plan now for a major earthquake. Contact the Santa Monica Office of Emergency Management. Don't be caught in the dark.
Welcome back. Here to talk about the JVS youth programs are Nancy Cabral, Youth Program Supervisor, and James Lively, a client who benefited from the program. Welcome to you both.
Thank you for having us today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So Nancy, tell me about the youth program. What do you offer?
Well, JVS has a variety of youth programs, and we operate actually out of our 3 offices. Our Pacoima area office, our Marina Del Rey, but we work in Santa Monica as well. And we also work in the Hollywood area. And we really target opportunity youth as young as 12 years of age and as old as 24.
Wow, I feel like I should send my kids to you. And how do you help the young people find jobs, find skills? What are the kinds of services?
So we mainly target youth who are opportunity youth, and what that means are youth who have either been on probation, are young parents, or have been parenting a youth, have been in foster care, are homeless.
So kids who maybe don't have the same kind of access to, you know, opportunities that kids that haven't faced those challenges.
Correct. Or even lack of support. No parents in their lives. But the services, how do we promote that out? We work with local schools. We also work with local nonprofits that work specifically with youth and families in different communities, especially communities that are underprivileged. So those are areas that we target and we promote out. And we also promote via email, Facebook.
Yeah, you got to be on social media.
We got to be on social media, and that's how you get in touch with a lot of our youth. We get in touch with them on Facebook. But a lot of the schools and the nonprofit providers have been very strong, know of the great services that we provide, and forward youth over to us so that we can help them.
So once somebody finds you, what happens? They come in, they say, okay, I'm ready, what can you do for me?
Sure. So all of our programs are geared towards reaching employment goals and educational goals. So a youth will go through the application process. Once we finish the application process, they will set up a goal sheet, and then we'll go through all those goals and we'll help them. Every youth is different.
So it's not like you tell them this is what you need to do. They say, here's what I want to do, and then you say, okay, here's how we can help you.
And we use a lot of different assessments to see what are their needs, education-wise and also employment-wise. What are their interests? What are their likes? And we fuel into that, not just, like you said, we give them opportunity for choice.
Sure. So James, you've been through this process. Can you tell us a little bit about how you found the program, what brought you there, and what your experience was like?
Yeah, so I was going through a lot in my life, and I found my IOP coordinator, my independent living coordinator. I was previously in a foster care system my whole life, so I didn't really know independence. I didn't know jobs. I didn't know anything. So I found my IOP coordinator, who directed me to a place to live, who also directed me to a program, JVS, that gets you employment, gets you a job. And so without making an appointment, I went down there and I spoke to Lydia Buckman, who got me started into the workshops right away.
So you just showed up and they said, oh, come on in, we're ready to help.
I just showed up. You know, I didn't want to be fed anything over the phone. I wanted to be there. So. And
so then what happened?
So once I showed up there, you know, she said she missed an appointment, I believe, and then we got started into the different workshops. So the first thing you do when you go in there is, you know, she asked me questions like, so you want a job, right? What kind of job do you want? And, you know, if I said any, she's like, well, you can say any job and then, you know, get toilet scrubbing. That's any job. Do you really want to do that? Well,
so what did you decide you were interested in?
Well, I'm a people person. You know, I like social interaction. So anything really socially involved, then that's what I wanted to go for. So I took an assessment on my reading and math skills just to see where I was at. And I went from there.
And so did they provide you with any training or referrals? What was the next step?
Well, we did different mock interviews. We did different workshops. We did different resume workshop. We did, you know, clothing inventory, because, of course, you have to be presentable when looking for a job. You have to know how to look for a job in a way. They help you, but you also want to know how to do it so when that help isn't there anymore. So.
Right. So
yes.
it's kind of like they provide what maybe some other kids who didn't have to go through those kinds of experiences might get from their parents or from other mentors. They're really serving as those mentors to give you those skills and kind of get you familiar with what that process is like.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
And Nancy, can you tell us a little bit about the need for these services?
The need is very great. We serve about 500 youth per year, and we have multiple contracts, all targeted for youth who have a lot of need. A lot of our youth are basic skills deficient, and we target all of LA County, but our primary areas are Pacoima, Hollywood, and West LA. And the different services can be training. We do paid work experience, which James was able to do. We partner with employers such as TJ Maxx or Marshalls. So a lot of our youth who may have not had any experience in the past can gain that first job opportunity.
That's great. And so the employers enjoy working with you and enjoy giving those opportunities to the youth?
Yes. All the employers who work with us know that this is an opportunity for them to mentor. So we work with our employers to be able to mentor, teach, and give these youth an opportunity to build up their skill sets.
And James, do you feel like being part of this program helped you to gain some skills and confidence that are going to help you?
Absolutely. I mean, I didn't have a job before I came to JVS. I've had seasonal jobs before, but it wasn't anything like I have now. See, when I got into the program, I didn't have anything. No clothes, no skills, next to nothing. And now I'm working at Marshall's. I'm part-time. I work there every week.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's great. So, you know, not only do I have the job, I take the skills that they gave me and I use that in my everyday work. You know, I use control, I use articulation, I use all the interview, all the working. I'm getting choked up here.
The techniques that they taught you.
Yes.
They help you in other aspects of your life.
Yes.
Too.
All the different techniques, all the different working workshops that I went through, I use that and I incorporated that into my job. So.
Well, that's so wonderful. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you being willing to share your story with us and hopefully inspire some other people out there. And Nancy, thank you for telling us about the nuts and bolts of how this program works and how JVS is serving our young people.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. When we come back, we'll find out about how JVS is helping our veterans use what they've learned in the service to transition into civilian jobs. Please stay with us.
Even if a signal indicates it's safe to walk, it's never safe unless drivers see you. Last year, 113 pedestrians were injured in Santa Monica. You don't have to go to extremes to get a driver's attention. It just takes a little eye contact. Take the right steps to be safe. Watch the road.
Welcome back. Now let's hear from a veteran who's benefited from the JVS Veterans First program.
After high school, I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do, so I decided to join the military, the Air Force. I was in logistics, also known as inventory management. I was responsible for acquiring parts for aircraft, getting all the supplies and equipment for the Officers Club, NCO Club, the Rec Center. I was separated from the military with honorable discharge as a sergeant, E4. I got accepted at Cal State Fullerton. At the same time, I had a full-time job working with the Metro, or MTA. I still was kind of a child when I got out.
Whenever these veterans get out, they have no guidance.
Basically, I let school go. I held various office-type jobs, got into the restaurant business, I helped run a property management business. I was basically living, I guess I call it pillar to post, from one person's house to another, living on the couches of certain people. I was frustrated because I knew what my potential was. I knew what I was capable of, and I just wasn't living up to that standard. I've never been able to complete something. I went to school, didn't get a degree. I've never been able to follow through or be consistent. I didn't manage my money properly. I was just burnt out, stuck, barely making it. I went to the VA just hoping to get what they call VASH housing, which is basically Section 8. Daniel Kim, my counselor at the VA, referred me to the JVS Veterans First program, which is located at the Workforce Center.
As a former captain in the U.S. Marine Corps, I'm really pleased to be a part of the Veterans First program. We start from a place of caring, and then we look to provide training or assistance, supportive services for the individual veterans and help place them in a career. I knew that Edward was struggling. I knew Edward was in a tough place. He was a homeless vet needing support and finding work. I also knew that he had tremendous potential to do well.
They basically gave me access to computers, job leads. I worked one-on-one with Anthony.
We were able to help Edward with initially some assessments in terms of his skill sets, his strengths. We were able to work on his resume.
Being in the military, I know it's all about the mission. But in civilian world, you have to show what you can do, how you're going to benefit the company.
Edward appreciated that I could see who he was.
They bring to light seeing something in you and letting you know to remind you that you're capable, you're confident, you're able. From one vet to another, he could tell me something, and I don't think I'd be offended.
What I like about this one is that
the mock interviews with Anthony and just the coaching that he gave me just made me feel more secure about myself.
Edward had a background in property management. Patty finds this great job.
Everything just fell into place, and Edward got the job within 4 days.
It was just an awesome feeling. It was a feeling I think I haven't felt in a long time. I had nowhere even imagine, getting a job as a general manager of a 532-unit condominium complex in Playa del Rey. I am a supervisor. I oversee the landscaping department, housekeeping. I'm charged with hiring outside plumbers, different vendors. I'm dealing with floods, insurance companies. It's probably the best job I've ever had. Really? Yeah, it's kind of challenging at times, but it's never a dull moment. I try to get to know all the residents by name.
I've seen a lot of managers come and go, and Ed does exceptionally well.
We have 532 units, so that's 532 opinions. He's very, very diplomatic.
Well, the military taught me to deal with different personalities, to deal with constant crisis, to stay calm and just get the job done. It's a thrill to get up and go to work every day.
I was so proud of him.
The Veterans First program made a huge, huge, huge change in my life.
Here to tell us more about the JVS Veterans First program is its manager, Anthony Rodriguez. Welcome.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
So tell me about how this program got started.
Well, Veterans First has been around about 6 or 7 years, and it got started because there has just really been such a need in helping veterans transition once they get out of the service into civilian life.
And I have to imagine you're seeing a great number of those veterans as we wind down some of the conflicts that we've been involved with.
Absolutely. There's a huge number of post 9/11 vets that are coming out. Mm-hmm. A lot of them are very young. They don't really know where they want to go or how things really work. And I think really what we provide is we provide a way for them to find their way out. In a way, we're now in a different kind of a conflict. For them, these veterans, it's a civilian warfare in a sense, because they don't know their way. And our job, because we've been out, because we're former veterans, is to kind of guide them through, to watch out for the landmines, so to speak, in the civilian world, to help them to know when they should duck or when they should stand and how they should, do what they do.
So I can already hear that you're using sort of military terminology
exactly.
to talk about, the civilian world.
Exactly.
I would imagine the culture is pretty different, and it has to be a culture shock for some of these veterans.
Absolutely. There's a lot of things that they're dealing with. One of them is that in the work that they've done in the military, they know the nomenclature, they know the military terms for what they did there. And a lot of them will come out and say, well, all I've ever done is hold a rifle. I don't know anything. But we're able to talk through what they've done and actually, draw out that you had to have skills like endurance and loyalty and esprit de corps. You had to do things like attention to detail. You had to, have concentration. You learned to be early.
So it's almost like a translation. It's translating what they did in the military into terms that we non-veterans can understand.
It's the translation of the skills for them, because it's a kind of a self-realization for them, but it's also for their resume, because when we can help them put that on paper, it gives them confidence that they can do things, that they are capable of doing things. And then the other thing is, because I'm a former Marine captain, I'm able, because I have a little bit higher rank than many of them, I'm able to talk to them and they're going to listen to me. And I'm able to look at them and say, you know what, this is what you need to do. You need to move from here to here. And many times they'll listen to me, and by so doing, we can kind of get them through.
And how many veterans is the program serving?
Over the last 3 years, we've served about 700 vets. We're pretty proud of an employment rate of about 500, retention rate of about 87%. So it's done really well. We've touched really a lot of people.
And are you serving veterans, both new veterans and veterans from previous conflicts?
We will serve any veteran from any era. We serve, I would say roughly around 10% still are the Vietnam vet, but most of the people we serve are post 9/11, the younger vet. We serve a fair number of single vets, and then we serve a lot of vets who are kind of in a tough place, either for poverty or homelessness, or they're dealing with different issues.
So you help provide referrals to other services to help get them back on their feet in other ways besides employment.
Exactly. As the video just showed, we work with people in a lot of different areas. We work with the VA, we work with other nonprofits, and we're able to work with them toward a way to get out of homelessness, or one of the things we provide as well is training funds, in particular for vocational training, to help them with entry-level positions when they're out.
And how long might a veteran be involved with the organization?
Well,
like how long does the process take?
It really can depend. We've had vets come in and in 2 weeks they found jobs. I mean, it was like that. And then we have others that they take longer, or they're going to a different kind of a school, or they're taking longer to transition. They're taking longer for kind of their mindset to kind of become civilianized again.
So it really depends on where they are. You meet them where they are, and then you take them to where they want to go.
And then even after they find work, we continue to stay in touch with them, and that's part of our retention.
So you provide ongoing support services so that if a challenge comes up on the job, they have somewhere to turn and say, I had this conflict with my boss, or this came up and I'm not sure what to do, and you guys can step in and help them.
Or even on, if they happen to lose their job, they can come back and we'll continue to work with them and kind of start where they, where they left off.
Well, it sounds like you're really providing a wonderful service and really helping not just the veterans, but those of us who can really benefit from their experience. And I thank you so much for the work that you're doing and for coming onto our show and sharing with us.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for being with us. To find out about how you can access the programs at JVS or how you might assist them with their work, call 323-761-8888. We'll see you next time on Nonprofit Profiles.